The Greens have dragons.
They have 3 adults, by my count.
Have a son there who'll take more kindly to instruction. Daeron may yet help us in weeks to come.
The Greens have 4 dragons. These 4 dragons are of course Sunfyre, which is the royal golden dragon of King Aegon II, then Dreamfyre, which we saw in Season 1, and she is bonded to Queen Haelaena, then the massive Vhagar, which is more or less the centerpiece of the series, and Tessarion, which has been hinted by Alicent Hightower in the 2nd season to be with her son Daeron in their ancestral seat in Oldtown. Therefore, these 4 dragons are, by the House of the Dragons timeline, the only current dragons possessed by the Green faction, and with the statement made by Criston Cole in episode 5 of the 2nd season, right after the battle at Rook's Rest.
And the King's dragon. Sunfyre was long in the dying.
Sunfyre seems to be long in the dying, which might mean that this dragon, God forbid, would die sooner rather than later in the show. And so that will leave them with 3 dragons. Now with that as foundation, let's take a look at the dragons that would disappear and never come to be in the show. Let's get to it. So according to Ryan Condal, Prince Jaehaerys Targaryen, the first and only son of King Aegon, and Queen Haelaena was 4 years old in the episode A Son for a Son, which takes place in 132 AC, as opposed to the book's timeline of 130 AC. As you would know, the little prince was killed in the infamous Blood and Cheese event of the show, and they also changed one important point, that is, there was never a younger brother, Prince Maelor. Anyway, Prince Jaehaerys was actually bonded with the dragon Shrikers in the books, but since there was never any mention of the princeling having a dragon or even a dragon egg by his side when he was a baby, we can safely assume that the dragon Shrikers does not exist in the series, and since the prince is now long dead, it would be meaningless to introduce this dragon later in the show. Now secondly, Princess Jaehaera Targaryen from the show is also 4 years old, and she is the twin of Prince Jaehaerys. And since the plot is already jumping into the heat of war, which would not last very long, it is safe to assume that it'll be the same for the princess as it was for her twin Prince Jaehaerys, and that is, both of them will not have the chance to bond with, or they were not raised with dragon eggs by their side. This is further supported by the fact that both of them were never mentioned to have had dragons in the series. So with this information we can also infer that Morgul doesn't exist in the series. Yeah, I know it is frustrating that these magnificent little beasts are made to be non-existent in the series, while they still live on in our minds. But all TV adaptations do differ from the original work, otherwise many of us would know what had happened step by step, and there would be no element of surprise anymore. But yeah, it still sucks though. So, as per various leaks and rumors regarding the daughter of King Consort Daemon Targaryen, who is Lady Rhaena Targaryen, the daughter, we heard that she would be taking on parts of the role of a character that would not be seen in the show, and this character is the dragon seed called Nettles. This dragon seed is the only one that tamed and bonded with a large wild dragon called Sheepstealer, and so if Rhaena instead becomes the rider and takes on the role of Nettles, so she will be bonding with the wild dragon, and then her dragon from the books, her very own Morning, would cease to exist. However, the egg of Morning was seen along with the 3 other eggs in the episode where they were sent along with Prince Joffrey and Prince Aegon the Younger, as well as the little dragons Stormcloud and Tyraxes, to the Vale. But as we can see, Lady Arryn of the Vale seems to be reluctant in sending her 15,000 strong army detachment to fight for Queen Rhaenyra on account of the smaller dragon hatchlings being sent to protect the Vale rather than a larger one. So if the rumors are true, then Rhaena would find the wild dragon Sheepstealer actually hunting for sheep in the Vale and terrorizing the people there, and then she would bond with the bees, and thus with that, her very own pink dragon Morning would never hatch. Now lastly, one of the wild dragons might never be featured in the show, and this dragon is the reclusive Greyhouse. The first reason why is that this dragon doesn't really have much of a plot in the storyline. It didn't really bond with any dragon seed, it wasn't really seen as a majestic beast, nor did it serve any role that is meaningful other than die in the hands of Sunfyre, which as per the latest episode is stated to be dying, and so if that happens, if Sunfyre dies, which we hope would not, then Greyhouse would just be a waste of budget to create, as it just flies around in the clouds, hiding from humans, being reclusive, and not really having any sort of impact on the storyline. And so with that, we come to the end of the video on the 4 dragons that might have been deleted from the show, but still exist in the books. So if you like this video, then watch this other one as well, and do check out our channel for other monster and dragon content. We might just have things we haven't seen before. Like, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video. Take care, guys.